Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is Top 4, Game 1 of the League Cup that happened at Die Hard Games on November 4th, 2023. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format anyone wants, really. More info in the description. League Challenge Thursday, November 16th at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games. And check out Pokemon's event locator for more premier events at Die Hard Games, such as League Challenges, League Cups, and pre-releases. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good stuff. But anyways, let's get into this top 4. Game 1 on the left, Charizard. On the right, Lost Zone. Looks like our Lost Zone player is starting things off for us. Benching a second Comfey here. They're going to want this first Comfey to Flower Select, look at the top 2, and find a Battle VIP pass. No. Mirage Gate and Psychic Energy. I guess Mirage Gate goes. Psychic Energy's kept. And a Nest Ball. Half of a VIP pass, so not so bad. Nest Ball lets you search the deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. You see our player kind of arranging their Pokemon to the front of the deck here. They're just doing some prize checking. It's a known thing for players to take a little extra time on their first deck search to take a look at what's in the deck, see what's prized, see what's in the deck, see what's available, see what's not, to better inform, hopefully better inform, their gameplay decisions. So that's what our player's doing here, getting a good inventory of the deck. And going to finally resolve that Nest Ball, finding a Radiant Greninja to add to the party here. Radiant Greninja has that powerful Concealed Cards ability where you can discard an energy card and draw 2 more cards. It's also a very solid attacker. We'll see if it comes up here in this top 4 game. Next will be that Concealed Cards, discarding that energy, putting our ability use marker on, and drawing 2 more cards. Still looking for that Battle VIP pass. Wouldn't hurt to find it at least, but if we don't, still not in the worst shape. Switch cart being used to switch into that second Comfey. Second Flower Selecting, taking a look at the top 2, and it's a Forest Seal Stone and Escape Rope. So if there is a Pokemon V or a way to find it, that Forest Seal Stone would be good to keep. And looks like that is being prioritized over the Escape Rope as the Escape Rope hits the Lost Zone. Third Comfey coming down, manually attaching and retreating into that third Comfey. Flower Selecting, looking at the top 2, getting rid of that second Escape Rope and prioritizing that Path to the Peak. Very good in this matchup against Charizard. Passing things over to our Charizard player. Charmander in the active spot. Raw Battle VIP pass from the hand. You guys know what that does by this point. Battle VIP pass, you can only play it on your first turn. When you do, search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon, put them onto your bench. You can see we're debating a few things here. Arceus V is going to be a for sure grab. Manaphy will be the second grab to protect the bench from that Radiant Greninja. Arven will be played. Arven lets you search your deck for a item card and a tool card. Usually the tool of choice is that Forest Seal Stone. Item can be that Battle VIP pass, just to set the board up even more. Our Charizard player is going to look through the deck here and see what options they have available, what things might be prized, what's not, what they have access to in this beginning game, start game, whatever the proper term for the beginning of the game is. Either way, Ultra Ball and Choice Belt being found with Arven here. That Ultra Ball most likely to be held for next turn to find the Arceus V-Star, to use its V-Star power to make things happen. The Choice Belt just a tool grab, to get it out of the deck. Let's see what else we got here. Escape Rope. The opponent promotes a new active first, then you do the same. Comfey hitting the active spot. Arceus V hitting the active spot. Getting a lightning energy or fire energy attached to it, and passing things over to our Lost Zone player. Arceus is definitely not a bad attacker in this Lost Zone matchup. Radiant Greninja discards an energy to draw 2 cards. Now we see those Battle VIP pass, huh? Love to see those off of the flower selecting, which we're going to hit next here. Looking at the top 2, sending one to the Lost Zone. Yeah, you send the Nest Ball to the Lost Zone. No, actually going to send the Chorus Experiment to the Lost Zone. Okay. Prioritizing Pokemon with the Nest Ball here. Nest Ball being played next to search the deck for a Pokemon card. Basic Pokemon card. And add it to the bench. What would we find? That Cramorant to start swinging with it. Looked like there was a Forest Seal Stone in hand, so maybe the AV Pokemon can be found to open up some more options with the Forest Seal Stone. We'll see what our player decides to do here, as they Lost Zone that Course Experiment pretty easily too. They definitely got some kind of scheme going on. Dragonite V being found here. So this is a Lost Zone deck. They can get to 7 to use Mirage Gate to power up this Dragonite V on turn 2. That would be devastating to our Charizard player's board state here. And can they make it happen with that Forest Seal Stone? Forest Seal Stone being attached to the Dragonite V. That gives it the Star Alchemy V-Star ability, power, whatever you want to call it, where they could search the deck for a card. Chorus Experiment already in hand, so okay, kind of makes sense why the Chorus was pitched so easily. Chorus Experiment supporter, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Send 2 of them to the Lost Zone, keep the other 3. Looks like there's a Battle VIP pass in there, so that's an easy choice to Lost Zone for sure. Oh, we're going to need to keep that Lost Vacuum to get to 7, if that's the goal for this turn. We'll have to see what our player decides. They're the ones playing. I'm just sitting here studying in the professor's lab, you know. But it is one of my all-time favorite things to do, so we're chilling and partying here today. Alright, so Battle VIP Pass and Roxanne being sent to the Lost Zone. Alright, I could see that. If we see we're going to go up in prizes pretty quickly, then Roxanne isn't needed as much. 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in the Lost Zone, so we're probably going to get there. Forest Seal Stone, Star Alchemy being activated to search the deck for a card. Potentially that Mirage Gate. Start powering up the Dragonite V or whatever puzzle pieces are needed to complete the combo. We're debating on a few options here. Some energies or that switch cart. Really in the tank on this one. Debating on that switch cart. That looks to be the choice. Okay. We got some mobility now. Lost Vacuum being played here. Lost Vacuum, you send a card to the Lost Zone, which is that useless Battle VIP pass. Useful in this case now. To send to the Lost Zone a tool card or a stadium card in play. That used Forest Seal Stone being the target there. It going to the Lost Zone. Now we got 8 in the Lost Zone. Mirage Gate's online. Water Energy being attached to Dragonite V. Mirage Gate coming down. If there are 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you could play Mirage Gate to search the deck for 2 different basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way. We're going to see a Water Energy and a Lightning Energy come on down to that Dragonite V, powering it up. Its attack does 250 damage and then 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon. So a small price to pay for a KO on the opposing Arceus V and destroying the opponent's plan and board state. Switch cart switching into that Dragonite V. Path to the Peak coming down, shutting off those rule box Pokemon abilities. Dragonite V, 250 damage onto the opposing Pokemon, 20 onto their bench, moving things over to the left side of the field. Let's see, 2 prize cards were taken, so a Charizard is doing 250 damage, so it is enough to take the KO on the opposing Dragonite V if we could find Charizard and Rare Candy. But we also need to find a counter to the Pat to the Peak too. Oh man. Alright, so Ultra Ball discarded a couple cards to search for a Pokemon. The Charizard can be found, but we also need to combo it with a Path to the Peak bump, because that shuts down Charizard EX's Infernal Rain. Is that what it is? Infernal Rain ability. Either way, it looks like we're rebuilding. We're in repair with the Arceus V being found. Kind of a dangerous game to play because all that's needed now is Gust, and the Arceus V is KO'd. We did actually have the Charizard EX and Rare Candy in hand, so we did evolve up to the Charizard EX, protect that Charmander, give it more HP, but the Path to the Peak does not allow Charizard EX to use its Infernal Rain ability to accelerate energy from the deck. So it looks like it's just an evolve and pass. Not looking good. Game 2. We're going to go to Game 2 pretty quickly. Forest Seal Stone being attached to the active. Hisuian Heavy Ball being played. To take a look at the prize cards, switch the Hisuian Heavy Ball with a basic Pokemon in the prize cards if you choose. Shuffle those prizes up and set them back up out. And we are offering the cut on those prize cards there. I don't think I've ever cut my opponent's prize cards, assuming they shuffled them. Alright, nothing else to do here but to swing into this Charizard. Escape Rope, okay. That's going to force the Arceus V up. I don't know if I like that. I probably would send up the Manaphy, but either way, Comfey is going to use Flower Selecting to take a peek at the top 2 and keep one and send the other to the Lost Zone. You guys know the drill by now. I'm sure there's a way to retreat that Comfey and bring the Dragonite back up for another big Dragonite attack. Switch cart, healing off some of that damage on that Comfey while we're at it to switch the Dragonite in the active. Dragonite 250 onto the opposing Arceus V again to take 2 more prize cards. Yep, don't forget to take the prize cards. And now play resumes on Charizard's side. We're in theme deck mode, manually attaching thanks to that Path to the Peak. That's sticking in play there and passing. Wow. Our Lost Zone player in a commanding spot in this Game 1 of top 4. The Hisuian Heavy Ball being played. Again, it was pulled from the prizes, obviously. Take a look at the prizes. No target was grabbed there, so the Hisuian Heavy Ball goes to the discard pile. Course Experiment to make our way through the deck a little bit more. Looking at the top 5 cards, keeping 3 and sending 2 to the Lost Zone. Which 3 do I need most? Which 2 do I need least? Super Rod and Lost Vacuum going to the Lost Zone. Lost Zone I'm sure has more than 10. So Sableye Lost Mine is online, but looks like all we're needing to do is stay calm and attack with Dragonite V. Only 2 more attacks though before we start only 1 more attack before we start KOing our own bench. So we gotta make it worth it. Yep, nothing to do but swing, go down to 1 prize. It's okay if I knock out my own Pokemon if I'm winning the game, I guess is the mentality. There we go, Fire Energy, second one manually attached to the Charizard EX, and it takes the KO on the opposing Dragonite V, doing more than enough damage. With its Burning Darkness 80 plus, this attack does 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So doing the 330, I'm sure, 300 something. Comfey is promoted into the active spot. And now our Lost Zone player has to correctly navigate this end game. They're so close to taking this game one, starting things off with the flower selecting, peeking at the top two, getting rid of that boss's orders. There's only one Pokemon in play on the opponent's side, so no need for boss. Path to the Peak, MVP. Alright, we're going to bench that Sableye, attach a Psychic Energy to it. Sableye has a Lost Mine attack. If there's 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you could put 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like, but no way to get that Comfey out of the active, so passing things over, Defiance Band attached to the active, Charizard EX, and Professor's Research being played to discard the hand and draw 7 cards. That Charizard's going to be able to take a, run through the opponent's field, but I don't think they could do so before the opponent can take their last prize. Comfey being promoted into the active spot. Charizard doing max damage here with that Defiance Man as well. 360 is it? Let me know in the comments what this Charizard is doing. This is crazy. Nest Ball being played on the right. Search the deck for a basic, put it onto the bench. Cramorant the target here. Cramorant can attack for free thanks to its Lost Provisions ability. The active Comfey is going to Flower Select. Look at the top two, send Escape Rope to the Lost Zone, keep that Super Rod. Energy manually attached to the active Comfey. Manually retreats into that Sableye. Sableye, Lost Mine. Gonna put 12 damage counters on that opposing Charizard. We're on a clock now. And on to Charizard's turn. You do not bench a basic Pokemon here, because a Sableye can come back and take the KO on it by spreading damage counters onto the bench. Super Rod being played to shuffle Manaphy, Energy, and another card I didn't catch from the discard pile, an Arceus maybe, from the discard pile back into the deck. Our Charizard player hanging on here, seeing what they can do. There is a little more time in this top cut, best of 3, 60 minutes, but not all the time in the world, so potentially should have gone to a game 2 at this point. But they're hanging on here, seeing what options are available, seeing what they can do to get back into this game, if anything. The Arceus being put onto the bench. Let's see, the Dragonite is in the discard pile, not in the Lost Zone, so this is a kind of scary, risky play, because the Lost Zone deck can recover that Dragonite and power it back up. Boss's orders on the Arceus V, and it's game over. There is a boss's orders in the discard, or in the Lost Zone, so maybe that's not the worst. Okay, Lost City now coming down, sending that Sableye to the Lost Zone. So there's one less Sableye our Lost Zone player has access to at this point in the game. Cramorant coming into the active spot, and play resume on their side of the field. Can they close things out this turn? Players examining the board state, taking a look at their discard pile, seeing what cards have been played, what they have access to, looking at the massive hand, the near infinite options that could go down. Super Rod being played to shuffle back into the deck from the discard pile. Psychic, Water, and Lightning Energy back into the deck there. There is a Mirage Gate in hand. Mirage Gate being played to search the deck for 2 different basic energy and attach them to their Pokemon in any way they like. Lightning and Water going on to that Greninja. Looks like we're going in with Greninja this turn. Set up both the Pokemon on the opponent's field for a KO on the following turn. And then Roxanne being slammed down. You can only play that card if your opponent has 3 or less prize cards remaining. Both players shuffle their hand into their deck. The Roxanne player gets to draw 6 cards, and the opponent draws 2. A wacky N at this point, based off of the remaining prize cards for both players. But definitely an impactful card in our current standard format. That's about to change soon. You guys getting excited for Paradox Rift? Let me know in the comments. Paths of the Peak being slammed down, countering that Lost City, shutting off those prize Pokemon ability, and Cramorant attacking with Spit Innocently. So actually going in with the Cramorant this turn. Just keeping that Charizard on a clock. The Greninja could clean it up on the next turn, even if it retreats. I think that's the idea here. Charizard has nothing to do but attack, taking the KO on the opposing Cramorant, and praying, betting that the Lost Zone player doesn't have the cards needed. But Clara is instantly played. Clara lets you add from the discard pile to your hand 2 Pokemon and 2 energy. All that was needed here was the Cramorant to be put onto the bench. It came, or the Greninja manually retreated into it. It comes up and finishes off that Charizard EX to take game 1 in this top 4. Can our Charizard player bring it back and force a game 3 in this top cut? We'll have to find out in the next video. What do you think of this video in the commentary? Please let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.